Hey everybody, it's Lee. Think I've got this figured out. Yes, yes, I think I got it figured out. There's been a lot of problems with Zoom lately, but I've been trying to have some fun and bring some of you in there. We have two special guests today to talk about the Guitar 30 Challenge and to talk about some of the other things that we've been doing all weekend, which has been fun. And it's great to have both of them here. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce. I think you can see him right now. There is Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
How's
How's everyone
everything?
doing?
How's everything going in your house this evening?
Yeah, good. Yeah, couple of days off, so off tomorrow as well. Means a busy couple of weeks coming up, but yeah, just relaxing and went out for a bike ride this morning. Then I've been listening to following last night's conversation. I've had a lot of Hendrix on the band of Gypsies and a lot of other Bill Moore songs, and just been chilling with that really.
What'd you think about the Band of Gypsies?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I love the jam stuff. I think it comes from from being in bands and stuff. You end up sort of jamming a lot, and it's sort of thing that's sort of hard to create with it on studio albums. And I think it comes across well, just that sort of like easy listening, sort of like not background music, but like sort of just very easy going, just sort of nice flow to it, and just sort of quite relaxing. Perfect Sunday music, really.
Yeah, I always liked it because most of his studio stuff. I'm going to get rid of this chat. It's not working anyway. Here, there we go. Most of his studio stuff has a lot of that hard panned, like the drums are on the left and then the bass is on the, just kind of that kind of real '60s um, crazy kind of mixing going on, and a lot of effects going back and forth, and the guitar's in there, but there's all sorts of craziness going on. But the Bandit Gypsy stuff, it's like they're just playing. You know what I mean? There's just nothing fancy, and they're just experimenting a lot more. He's not having to play all the signature licks on every single song. He can, because people weren't as familiar with those songs. He could just do anything he wanted to do. So
He treats it really laid back as well. He sort of treats it almost like a jamming session. You say, well, he's only been trying, you know what I mean? He's sort of like almost feel like there's no pressure.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's kind of like a little glimpse into what he really was like as a guitar player without all the show, you know. So that's good. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. It was my driving around in high school tape.
I was
Just
thinking, shame I'm not work because it would be perfect sort of driving music.
yeah,
I think I was sending a chat with you last night. I've had the three of the Hendrix albums on sort of a loop in my car, um, and I do find that quite easy going for the car. Just sit back and enjoy the ride really. So yeah, definitely.
that's good. That's good. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you like it. Always fun to turn somebody onto that album. I'm gonna bring Evan in here for a second. Hey Evan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How's everybody out there? All the players for Play Guitar Academy. I don't know how many people we've got in our chat today.
I know I tried to bring the chat in. Let's see. We've got Josh. David's here. He said got Zoom working, and Josh said he listened to Band of Gypsies yesterday after the stream. Also, it's great. It's been a while. Yeah, yeah. Hey David, it's good to see you too. So we got a few folks in here. I'm considering this a win because everything's working for
Everything's
the
up and running. Yeah.
for the moment. How's I know you're not having to go into work anymore, right? So you're home.
Yeah, I'm home. It being, I guess the cabin fever sets in pretty early. After a few days where you're seeing the same four walls all the time,
Yeah,
you start to appreciate getting to the office,
yeah.
even if that's the only place you ever actually go.
It's tough, man. It's a tough change. I'm,
It is a tough change.
yeah, we've the long term. It gets even harder. It's I've been a long term working at home person, and it gets tough. But what you end up doing is you end up getting organized and getting um, um, really focused on a schedule, and that's so my whole day is scheduled. And when I don't have that schedule, that's when I start to fall apart. So I've gotten to that part where it's kind of like, you know how I guess like the first day of school you get your schedule, or the first day of a new job, you know, and you figure out I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be. I do this, then I do this, then I do this, and it's kind of tough. But you kind of get into that rotation. If I don't have that now, I go kind of nuts, you know. So you know, I knew like today is at 4, and I knew that at 3 I had to be in here and trying to fix this stuff. And then I had dogs. I had lunch. Had to get lunch together and the dogs before that, and I was working on taxes. So I wanted to get to at least a certain place before those things happen. And so I'm like achieving things all day long, which is fooling me not into staring at the wall like a man, you know, and just banging my head against the wall all the time. So if you need any help, we should start another podcast, the Shelter in Place podcast. I think helping people get through this. That's But the neat thing is that we have been what we used to do is go out to eat, and that was our time out of the house. That was the one thing that we did every day. Most days we would go out to eat, and now we don't have that. So it's brought us even closer because we're cooking. My wife's cooking. We're helping with, you know, when I can, and we're all doing the dishes. We've got some more family time than we had before because everybody had kind of their schedule that they're doing. So yeah, man. I don't know how long you think this is gonna last.
I think, well, we're talking in this country about, you know, there's a few rumors about being relaxed in a couple of weeks, but I would say at least 3 weeks, and then longer, you know, with long term, I don't know, a couple of months.
Yeah, it's
I'm not sure. Hard to put a figure on, really. Got to watch, because obviously different countries as well, so all the, you know, the curves are all different, and
yeah.
So it just depends, and you know, I think governments have taken a sort of united, you know, they're all sort of doing the same thing, but you know, I'm not sure that will all stay the same after a while, you know, and I think each country will treat it a little bit differently, so
Yeah.
not sure.
Well, to me, it's a math thing. It's 14 days. You know that they try and tell you all these things. Well, this is how it goes, and this is what you need to look for. But the big thing is, you don't know what's going on for 2 weeks, right? That's math. That means that what you're doing today affects you in 2 weeks. Which means that's where the chaos comes in. So when we first heard that, that's when I said, I'm out. You know, I want those 2 weeks. I want to be here in 2 weeks, you know? So it's a really complicated problem with a really easy focus. You know, we're not going to, so they say if it's in a month, you know, in this country, that first they wanted everything to be done by the middle of April, which isn't going to happen, you know. And then now it's like, well, we get to the middle of April, everything goes well, and then they start letting people go out a little bit more. You're not going to know what effect that has for 2 weeks, you know, which is, and we're just going to be doing this for a long time.
That's right.
So you know, I was thinking June when they start doing limited things. Because we're moving to Orlando area, we've been paying attention to the Disney and the theme parks and all those things, and how and I really like them. I really like the way they do business too. I'm kind of fascinated how they run those things, and they had this new Star Wars ride. Do you remember hearing about that? The Rise of the Resistance. It's where you're actually in the movie, and so many people wanted to get on that they stopped having people line up, and they started doing something called boarding passes. and those boarding passes where you have to be inside the park for it to work, and at 7 o'clock in the morning you could try and get one, and by 7:02 they were all gone. So if you weren't there the first thing in the morning, you're not getting on. And basically they gave you groups, and they would tell you if your boarding pass say 19 and they'd say that's estimated at like 10 o'clock, so come back at 10 o'clock. And so people were just going in groups of like 3 and 4 instead of waiting in line. I say that for this reason, is that they're now, from the app, they're now looking at doing that for everything. So when they do open up, it's going to be small groups of people going in and out of different things, no more lines and all those things. So things are going to really change when we do get through this. But yeah, I'm interested to see how everything's going to work. And then where Evan is, they're really, how did it go to, have you checked in today, Evan, about the numbers, and has everything's just still escalating?
As far as I know, they're still escalating. I haven't checked today, and I didn't check yesterday. After a while, you can only look at so much of it.
Right.
It's a little disconcerting to be here in a hot spot, and you don't know how long it's going to take for it to end. New York is just getting to a point where they're seeing their cases decrease.
Yeah.
Day over day. So, hopefully we'll be able to look 2 weeks in the future, maybe in about 2 weeks.
I'm going to check the chat here for a second. Chris is here. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Kevin is here. Dave says, don't think they see our chat. Yeah, I tried to put the chat in a minute ago, and then it was just frozen. Josh says they passed a CARE Act here till July 31st. Okay. That's April, May, June, July. Where's here for you, Josh? And that's Kansas City. Okay, so let me see if I can put the chat in here again. Let's see if it'll work this time. There we go. Now it's showing a little bit more. Okay. So the last chat that we have is Josh saying Kansas City. There were other states also. It helps, I think, with them with unemployment. Okay. So hopefully that's going to work. If it freezes, let me know. I'll check in periodically to make sure it's working. So I've been looking out a lot. We have our group, the Play Guitar Facebook group, but I'm also a member of other groups where I don't participate in them, but I just kind of get a lot of the posts that come up. And I'm seeing a lot of people who've said that they haven't touched their guitar since all this happened. And it seems like playing guitar and all this, for me, that's the thing I would rather be doing to take my mind off of everything. But it seems like it's polarizing. It seems like it's people are either playing a lot of guitar or they're just dropping it, So what's it been for you, Evan? How have you been able to keep up playing now that you're home?
I'm playing, well, to my shame, I missed yesterday's challenge. I wasn't able to get to it yesterday.
That's okay.
But generally, I'm still practicing every night. It surprises me to hear somebody say that they don't want to touch their guitar right now. I'm like you. It seems ideal.
Yeah, I've seen several people saying that maybe they're just distracted. They're so worried about what's going on that it just doesn't. I don't know. There's nothing you can do about it now.
No, it's, all we can do is try and stay home and stay safe. And if I'm going to stay at home, then picking up my guitar makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. How about you, Chris? How's your guitar playing going?
Yeah, the playing's going great. I sort of fell off the Guitar 30 challenge earlier than last year. This year I lasted about 2 days.
Okay.
That was due with work. But I find for me, when I set these challenges, I find it harder to play, because I play every day anyway, quite a lot when I can. And I find the challenges, I just fall off them. But I've also got the, I'm doing the, the tuition stuff, which keeps me going. And then I just like to treat each day different and try something new, and then stick with the sort of lessons we're doing in the background. So, I've been just focused on those lessons, and just stuff which come in here and decide which guitar I'm going to play, and then just try something new, and keep the lessons in the background. But as soon as I say I'm going to do 30 minutes a day, I find myself doing less. So
Right.
that's just what I don't know. I don't know how that works, but that's just me. I think it's because I'm playing every day anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, for me, I was starting my practicing, and I just started. I at first I was doing both. I was doing my Mixolydian thing that I was doing, my seventh chord thing I was doing, and then I was doing videos for the academy. And I found I was really getting more out of doing the videos than I was with the thing that I thought I was wanting to do. And plus, I was feeling good about it because I knew I'm getting stuff done that's going to help other people. So I switched over. I'm just doing the videos. I've got all of, 101's I'm gonna use the videos from the Start Here guitar course, just not with the daily thing. That's going to be upgrade. But then I've got all of 102, all of 201, and I'm in the middle of 202 right now. And that's 2 videos for each week. So I've been cranking them out, and hopefully by the end of the 30 days, I'll have them all done. So that's my challenge to myself to get that all going.
I think for me the hard point is I don't have a set time during the day because I'm either working early or late, so I can, where I might, if I set a certain time every day, that the next day that time isn't there.
Right.
I have to switch to a different time of the clock, a different hour. So that's what I find difficult. So some weeks I'll be practicing in the morning, some weeks I'll be practicing at night. So maybe that doesn't lend itself as well to, doing the daily thing, because I might be in a different mood on the morning than I am on the night. But
for me, that I get really frustrated with that, especially when say I've got something Thursday and Friday going on, and then the weekend everything's out the window, So it ends up being a fight for me to get to my routine, and then at some point I give up and I'm like, start over. What's the new time? Okay, I'll try this now. So let's see here. Let's see what we got. David says my guitar playing's gone up 2-fold. That's awesome. And Josh says I've been playing more. I can see where it can be hard through homeschooling for children and keeping up with necessities and housework with everyone home and entertaining the family. It takes time. Yeah. I know that Chris is dealing with homeschooling now too, and Evan's not. I don't think, right?
I'm not dealing with homeschooling. They have issued some voluntary work for the kids to do while they are out of school.
Okay.
And my son is 14 years old. It's been a struggle to get him to address any of that.
Yeah. And here, or in the county I was in, which they actually have the teachers teaching virtually online. And I don't know how they're doing that because we were already homeschooled. We do our own program, and I'm not sure how that's going or not. But that makes it makes you have to show up at a certain time, I would think, which might help light a fire, for that. Yeah. But the homeschooling for us, so we found a curriculum that my daughter likes, and for the most part, it moves her through that. I help with math. That's every day I help with math. Sometimes I help with other things too. But once you get in a routine, it gets easier. That's the problem. And when there's 3 of us, when all 3 of us have, we also moved too, which we've moved twice in the past 2 months. So now we're at the end. We've been here for a month, and everyone's routine is starting to settle in now. And it's getting easier. It's getting easier now. But but you know, I do this a lot. So if you guys are struggling, just call me up, man. I'm there. I'll hang out with you.
And commiserate over the troubles our children are giving us at home.
But you know what? You might end up, a lot of kids who never thought they would like homeschooling now are being forced to do it, and some of them may find that they like it, you know. But the problem is they may like it, and then the parents go back to work when this is over, and they're going back to school.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And they don't have a choice in the matter.
That's right. So let's see here. Evan says less commute equals more guitar. That's right. I've found that podcasts. I mentioned this yesterday. The podcasts. My numbers are down on the podcasts because of the commute. I think commute was a big part of the listeners' experience with my podcast. So I'm thinking that doing this experiment that I'm doing may help, you know, be more on YouTube, because I think YouTube numbers are generally up across the board too. So but playing more guitar with less commute is a good thing. That's a very good thing. And Evan R says, especially since you can't go anywhere. And Kevin's playing way more now. That's great. That's great. So we're talking about Hendrix this week. Tomorrow I'm going to do the podcast live, if everything works and everything doesn't break. So how about some Hendrix stuff? Let's go to Chris. Chris, we were talking about licks a little bit. You're talking about kind of Hendrix inspired licks. Tell me a little bit about what you've been coming up with and playing.
Yeah, I was just sent Lee a message earlier, because obviously I've been listening to a bit of Hendrix today, and we're sort of going to look at Hendrix in the podcast. I thought it'd be a good idea to take the sort of podcasting lesson further, to sort of try and create some sort of Hendrix style riffs using some of his techniques and methods, and just create something of your own using those skills, and then maybe come on here and share them.
Awesome. You have one you could share with us?
I've messed around with a couple. I was doing something like it. Hold on. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm not sure of that. I'm just making it up, but
awesome.
That sort
That's
of
great. Can we see it? Can you bring your guitar up or bring your camera down so we can see what you?
I can't bring the camera down. I can try and stand up.
All
so
right.
Hold on. Let's have a little rearrange the furniture. So
That's okay.
Not bad.
That's cool.
Get up. So I'm on the 11th fret there. I'm doing a sort of double stop, and then down the 4th fret. Yeah. Now I've got an A, and up to a B, and that's a E. Slide down. So yeah, something like that.
That is really cool. I love that. So what we got is an E chord. There we go. And would you want to was it A to something like that?
Yeah.
And you did an A with a ninth on it?
Oh my God. Then up again. Then back down, and we got E.
Very nice. Very nice. I love it. I love that. something
Yep.
like that, kind of.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice. I had a song that I did when I had my 3-piece band. I may have put this on the podcast. And mine's kind of a Hendrix, but kind of a Pearl Jam, Yellow Ledbetter mix between those two. So I think everybody has those kind of things. And so let's talk about coming up with that. So one of the places that Hendrix likes to play is over the pattern 1 in major pentatonic. And so Chris takes advantage of on pattern 1 where the E chord is, right? So you're starting on the E root or playing off of the E, taking advantage of those 3 notes right there to get a nice chord. And he hammers on the major pentatonic notes to create kind of half chord and half movement going through those. And he does that in a lot, especially Little Wing and a lot of other ones too. So very nice, Chris. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That's cool. Let's see what we got here. So Evan said, let's see, Kevin. Oh, Josh says all his kids want to be homeschooled all the time now. Right. And we got somebody says play Scorpion. Joao play Scorpions or Charlie Brown Jr. Okay. Anyway. So I was thinking what Chris had talked about was okay. The Zoom meeting has ended. Let's see if I can start a new one. Was that 40 minutes? Yep, it was at 40 minutes. That's right. Here's a new meeting. Join. Okay, I'm going to switch to my main camera here. Let's see if I can get these guys back real quick. And one more. Okay, so we'll see if they can pop back in. So what we're going to be doing this tomorrow is, like I said before, I'm going to be doing the live podcast here. We're going to have some fun with that. I'm going to be talking about Guitar 30 Challenge, and then there we go. Hey, you're back. The free Zoom meeting ended. Let's see if we get Chris back here. Well, let's see here.
I think I might be back.
I think you're back. I'm trying to get you yeah, I'm trying to get you back in here. It'll take a second. Okay. It made you real small. I'm going to have to redo this one. Just hang out for just a second.
I think I've lost your audio there. Yeah, I can't hear anymore.
You can't hear me anymore?
Yeah, no, I can now.
Okay.
You just weren't speaking.
Good. Okay, one more. You're back. All right, I got you back. And maybe Evan will pop back into in a few minutes. Okay. So only 40 minutes. Yep, 40 minutes up exactly. So, Josh says, was it 40 minutes? I thought with more people you could do longer. Not for sure though. Yeah, if we do this all the time, I'll sign up for it and get the unlimited thing. So if this is something that people are enjoying, I'm enjoying it myself. So let's talk about the Hendrix stuff. I'm going to get my notes here real quick. Content. This is podcast 119. And let's go through what we got there. So here we go. So I'm gonna be focusing on the playing chords in the style of Hendrix this week, but I thought there were some cool things about tone that a lot of members had talked about, and also some lead, those things. So we could do a whole big Hendrix theme. This week we're going to be playing chords in the style of Hendrix. I'll do it to an intro. The topics are going to be soul guitar double stops, which is what we were getting into there, using the major pentatonic and adding a bunch of movement using the E major chord. Advanced chord music, which was one of the... Chris was outlining, even though that was kind of a riff, it sounded to me like he was going for the ninth over that A chord. And then I'm going to start doing a whole thing on use of the 7#9 chord. What do you think about the 7#9 chord, Chris? Do you use that too often?
Yeah, jump into that. Yeah, quite a lot. Not just in Hendrix stuff, like in a lot of rock stuff as well. So, yeah, I tend to gravitate toward it a lot, just that flavor it's got.
Yeah, I use it in blues a lot, especially, or like in funk music too. I use it a lot in those things. But I first started using it in jazz. I went through the jazz stuff yesterday as kind of a 2-5-1. I also do the I also use, so if it was an E7 #9, I also use it along with an E7 flat 9. So if this is your #9 note, which is a G, the key of E, what would your flat 9 be? Back 2 frets there. So we're going to take this G and move it back to the, instead of on the 8th fret, to the 6th fret, but still keep your E there. And you hear that line that it creates. #9, flat 9, 1 chord, right? Or you could even do it minor. I like it better, man. That's where I first started playing it. And well, not really. I was playing it as in Hendrix songs, but I didn't know what it was. It was just the Hendrix chord. So you got James Brown chord and Hendrix chord. There's one note between James Brown and Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, so I'm going to be going through those things tomorrow live. So we talked about Guitar 30 Challenge. We're talking about Hendrix things, and we've talked about staying home. Evan's been doing some really cool, making up some really cool riffs over the past. Gosh, it's been a month, two, maybe longer. As part of what's really neat is both Chris and Evan are in the same level. They're both in the 205. And one of it's called Putting It All Together, and we're doing sequences a lot. But part of that was also is coming up with riffs and ideas. How have you been doing with that? Have you been coming up with any more riffs?
You know, I'll be honest, I've spent most of my time with sequences, using it over backing tracks just as improvisation.
Okay, cool, cool. Gosh, what was it? It was about halfway through. You guys are at the end. You're about to go into 206.
206.
But in the beginning of that, we did the stuff that you guys were coming up with was really cool. And Chris would send me his tabs, which I really enjoyed going through them and doing that too. So, man, 206, huh? It's been a while since I've taught 206. This is gonna be fun. blow the rust out a little bit. We'll get that going on. So, you guys are doing great. You two, and let's see, Moshe. He's all the way through his level. I think he's on 201 now, so he made it through all the 102s, and those are 12-week courses, and you guys have got them. So congratulations. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to. I saw you have your video up, and Chris, do you have a video up for this weekend?
Yeah, mine went up. Mine went up yesterday because it was late last couple of times, so I did it bright and early. So yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do them Sunday evening now. Now that we're going live on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think I'm gonna do all of the founding lessons on Sunday evening and get those cranked out so that Monday morning everybody has theirs and ready to go.
Yeah, so this week for me, I think he asked me to do. I've got a Doors project in the background, so I think you asked me to pick a couple of Doors songs and play the solo and dip out and play some improv and come back in. So that's what I've done. Chose a couple of songs and see how we get on. Which is a good exercise. It's good fun, good practice.
So for Chris has been working on a Doors project with keyboard player. Do you have the rest of the band together too, or is it just you and the keyboard?
Yeah, we got a drummer just before the virus struck, so we rehearsed with the singer. I've got my brother on bass. Sorry, my brother's doing the keyboards. Got a friend on bass. We found the singer, and the bass player knew a drummer, which we haven't met yet because we were down to rehearse, and then obviously the lockdown came, so
right.
We're just learning stuff in the background. So it's just getting more songs learned.
I was about ready to jump on a plane and check you guys out. So, how about the fingerstyle? Have you been finding yourself doing more of that since you're doing a lot of the Robbie Krieger stuff?
A little bit, because it gives a trying to work the right word, like a fleshier tone. Like there's more bass comes through.
Mm-hmm.
And bits of it. I haven't just started playing fingerstyle. If I felt that I did it well and it was adding to the song, then I would do it. If I felt uncomfortable first, I've just been sticking with sort of the way I do it, rather than do worse fingers. I'd rather do the best I can. So whichever works really. So certain songs I've picked up more fingerstyle than others, and other songs where Robbie Krieger will play with his fingers, I've just playing with the plectrum. But it's just for a personal preference thing.
Are tribute bands really big in northern England as they are here?
I think so. Yeah, there's a lot of bands who are much of a muchness. A lot of cover bands who cover like a wide spectrum and do the sort of same thing, which I find a little bit tedious. And I don't think I personally want to go down that route. So I think with the Doors stuff, it's just a bit. I don't know. You sort of know what you get, and I think it's as long as you do the songs justice. I think and they're all classics. All the albums are classics, and there's not really a bad song. So, I would go and see a Doors cover band. So yeah, that's the plan. Just think there might be a bit of a market for it, and it's just like we're treating it like a hobby, like a fun project, and aiming to gig, by the end of the year. So we're just quite laid back about it. So
They here and Evan, I don't know if you've noticed this too. The tribute band is becoming really big. In fact, the
Yeah.
in Macon, the Grand Opera House, I don't think they even have the orchestra anymore. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. I could be wrong, but all you see is these Pink Floyd and Fleetwood Mac and Grateful Dead cover bands that are going into these big. That's what they're selling tickets to now.
Right, they're doing the whole act.
Yeah.
They're dressing up like the band. They're putting on the stage show as the band. They're
Yeah.
doing the whole thing.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's something like that when I was playing out in clubs that was just a cover band, and you'd see some bands that would do, like, I know there was a Kiss tribute band, but they would only do that for like half the night. Then they'd start drinking and play whatever they felt like. But now it's like it's big business now. So I don't know if have you noticed that, Chris, in England at all? Anything like that?
yeah, definitely. There's the venues that have the regular bands on, or the bigger bands. They're sort of backed up by a lot of tribute acts.
Oh, okay.
UKDC,
Right.
like an AC/DC band, and Blondie cover bands, and yeah, there's a lot of Stone Roses cover bands. I think that's they sort of do that on the nights when there's not an artist in town. There's not anyone playing, and I think there's definitely a market for it. I'm not really been to see many, but I don't think we're going to do the whole clothes and look the same. I've got an SG, but apart from that, we don't look like anything like them. And for me, it's just trying to sound like it, And I think you go one way or the other. You either go all in for the look, but I think for me, I just want to get close to the sound, and I think it might be quite novel just not to look anything like them, but just to carry the sound off. I think that's
Right.
That's what I saw from the challenge, rather than we'll get dressed up smart, or just wander off the streets in with t-shirt and jeans or anything. But I think I think maybe like people will form an opinion before they see you play, won't they? And look and think, well, this is this it? And I'd like to try and like just once you start playing, think, oh, good, they sound like them. That's good,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's cool. I think that'd be cool. You should come over here and play so I can hear you. It's all.
We're all buying tickets to your world tour, Chris.
I know. I want to. I've been in Chris's. I've been through his town before, or at least one. Yeah, on the train. So once, but I would love to go now and put my eyes.
It's all live streaming these days, isn't it? It's all live streaming, and people have videos everywhere now with phones. So once we get going, I'm sure there'll be a few clips doing the rounds.
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna check on the chat here. Chris says my first lesson in 2 months is uploading now. Finally, awesome. I'm so happy that you're doing that. I can't wait to see it tonight. Starting to have a little more free time, thankfully. Good. I'm glad you're able to spend some time. I want to go back here because I missed Evan's. Evan R says he finished his just before we started and posted it while we were chatting. Awesome. And saw Jake's posted, so I think both of us are starting to. That's right. So you guys are both finished 202. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 switching levels right now. That's wonderful. And Evan, we were kind of looking a lot of he's in the real bluesier stages of the lessons, and he's been working. He's the one that I said check out the BB King's live from San Quentin, and I just unplugged my headphones here. And I hadn't listened. I used to play along to that, but I hadn't listened to it in a long time. And it's like super fast. Every song is about 10,000 miles an hour. And so I apologize for that. I should have gone back and listened to it before I recommended it. But we're on Clapton now, so we're slow handing it. So, and that's been working. He did some Clapton stuff, and his Strat has a real Clapton-y sound too. So Evan's doing really good. Josh says Mini Kiss. Have you heard those guys? I've heard of them. They make a lot of money doing the tribute stuff. And David says there's a Pink Floyd tribute group that's huge and travel all over. There's a couple of them. There's several of them.
There's one that's Saucer Full of Secrets tours with the original Pink Floyd drummer, Nick Mason,
Oh,
doing a lot of their old stuff. So you can, and he's got the blessing of the other guys in the band to go around and tour.
I'd
So
like to
that's
see
not,
that. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Well, this is the being close to where all the Allman Brothers stuff is. There's a lot of Allman Brother tribute bands, obviously, but the right before New York shut down, the day before, they had all the members of the Allman Brothers who are still in the previous, I think, two incarnations that are all still alive, all got together at the Beacon Theater. And they had this huge show, and just saw in the news that the Allman Brothers tour manager Kirk West, who owns a gallery in Macon, him and his wife, they went to see it, and they both got sick from it. So they're here, but they're both okay. They're
oh,
doing
that's
well.
good.
So and that was that was what I was saying, within those 2 weeks. You have no idea, and everything was open, so everybody thought it was fine, but it turned out not to be fine. Let's see here. Evan says 2 places opened in the Philly area recently that do cover bands. One right near me that does about 3/4 cover. That'd be fun. When I lived in Philly, I would go to the TLA. I saw, what was it called? The Trocadero. It was more downtown, and I saw Soundgarden there once, right before they got huge. And Philly always had really, really a lot of bands. I saw a lot of good shows there. Let's see here. He says one in Philly, a branch of City Winery does a more original, some cover. Saw a band that does Allman Brothers and the Dead just before things shut down. And Chris says I saw a Zeppelin cover band called Led Zeppelin. They're pretty good, not quite the same. Yeah. Led
I
Zeppelin.
think there's a cover band. I don't know if this is a real cover band, but I heard of one called Jeff Leppard instead of Def Leppard. Jeff Leppard.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
So
people are called Geordies, and I heard of one called Bon Jordi instead of Bon Jordi. Jeff Leppard sounds great.
Did you get a chance to see Def Leppard? I know well, let's see. Def Leppard was Manchester, right? That's where they're from?
No, they came here last year with Cheap Trick. Me and Joey went.
Okay.
We caught Def Leppard last year, and we caught Europe. We saw Europe play last year as well, and I think the year before I went to see friends, went to see Extreme.
Oh,
they're pretty good.
That'd be a fun show. That'd be fun too. But are they? Is Def Leppard from Manchester? Is that correct? I think
Sheffield.
So
okay. York, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good show. It was loud. It wasn't the best venue. It was an arena, but it's like a tin hut,
Yeah.
I prefer the smaller venues. And then, last year I saw Samantha Fish, and I've just bought a ticket yesterday to see her next year as well. So I've got a gig to look forward to as well.
I never got to see her. When I was playing blues, I get to see all those, the kind of like medium venue acts, and she happened after I stopped playing, so I haven't got to see her yet. So, but my wife and I, we've been watching a lot of her YouTube videos. So looks like a good show. She really puts on a good show. Let's see here. Dino says, "Hey everybody, late today. We are happy you're here, Dino. I think I've got everything working. We had the 40-minute shut off there, which I'm glad everybody got back on." Josh says they have a lot of music coming through Kansas City now. They built the Sprint Center here, brought in a lot more music to all the venues in the city. That's cool. I never played in Kansas City. That was one of the, I never did. I never played in Kansas City. I played Memphis a lot. And north of Memphis played too. We would do the Kalamazoo, like all the way north. We fly into, fly into Detroit and then take a car and then go to like Kalamazoo, and and then at some point we would go back east again. We just kind of played around Kansas City, which is strange to me because I'm sure there's tons of cool places to play there. Evan says Trocadero closed this past year. Oh, that was so much fun. The Trocadero's like, it has a big main open floor, but then it had a balcony. And Chris Cornell, they played the first song, and then he came out, and I didn't really know a whole lot about him. And he went over to where the curtain is, and you know how the balcony would come up right to the edge of the stage, and he climbed up to the balcony and was just, like slapping people's hands and just going. He went all the way through to the back of the venue in the balcony, and then jumped off into people's hands underneath, and then crowd surfed his way back to the stage before the song was over. And I was like, I had never. This is before that was popular, that those kind of things happen. So it had a lasting impact on me. I have not forget that one. Evan says, has anyone seen the Almond Betts band? I haven't seen them. I've seen each of them playing separately. I saw Dwayne Betts. He played in his dad's band and Dickie Betts' band. I've seen them several times, but I haven't seen them both together. And Evan says, lost my battery on my laptop, back to spectacle. Oh, okay. And Kevin says, my town in Wisconsin is getting some good music though through here, thanks to the band Bon Iver. Yeah, awesome. Wisconsin's, there's a lot of fun. We got some good music towns represented here right now. I'm trying to the Macon area doesn't get a whole lot. We get a lot of small. We get a lot of like Government Mule and Hootie and the Blowfish and like medium level bands, but you don't get the big concerts coming here too much. I guess because it's close to Atlanta, and Atlanta you could just drive an hour to go to see. You get like Paul McCartney plays in Atlanta and those kind of things. So Macon doesn't get a lot of those. So I'm looking forward to when we move in Orlando to have to be able to see a lot more concerts. Let's see here. Evan Samantha Fish comes every year. Oh, okay. Now I thought it was the other Evan talking. I didn't get it. So you're out. Battery on your laptop went. Sorry, Evan. Evan Wilson. We'll see you next time. Okay, but thanks for hanging out with us. So he says Samantha Fish comes every year, and I really need to check her out. Yeah, he's in. Let's see. Who did I? It's the other. Tab Benoit is from Evan's neck of the woods too. I'd like to see him play. He does that Albert Collins song that I was working on too. The If You Love Me Like You Say song too. He does a great version of that. And she does the Cigar Box Guitar Fest down here. Hey, Chris, how about your Cigar Box guitar?
Yeah, I haven't played with it too much. I've sort of built a second one, which wasn't as good as the first one, but you can't see them just sitting up there. But yeah, I don't play them so often, but they're there for when I want them. But I don't know, I've got too many guitars. Well, I haven't got too many, but got I could go straight for just the 6-string electrics when I come in, So there for another day for when I'm just sitting chilling and maybe down the garden. I'll get me slide and just sit out in the sun and play it a bit. It's just different, though, isn't it?
Can we see it? Can you reach it? Yeah, love to see it.
I'm only about 3% power on my phone, so.
Well, we're gonna wrap up in a minute anyway. I just want to take.
I won't put it in, but so yeah.
That's very nice.
Put a cork on there because that's a nail going through there, so put a wine cork on. It's well out of tune as well.
That's okay. Did you do all the? Did you?
And then I made this one as well. Out of a biscuit box, like it was Christmas theme.
That's great. That's awesome.
And it's there's 4 strings on this one, but yeah, the string height in the nation's shocking, but you don't really need them when you've got the slide on. So let's put them back. I'll get them back.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for showing us those. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Here we're at the hour, so at the top of the hour. So thanks, Chris, for hanging out. Thanks, Evan, for hanging out too. I appreciate it. That was fun. I'm so happy this is actually working, and we're gonna have some more. Anyone else who feels like I know I've had a few emails from Evan R and a few others. If anybody feels like getting on, I'm going to go back through the emails. And next week, now that I know that I can do this, Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So anybody wants to pop in, I'll have this all set up. And this was fun. I'm glad it worked. It was a headache to get it to work. But
tomorrow more Hendrix.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll figure out what we're going to do on next week's podcast. Maybe do some lead stuff, some lead Hendrix things. So okay. So thank you guys. I see Dino and David and Josh and Evan and if anybody farther back in the chat, I appreciate you hanging out with me this weekend. And my little experiment, I think, is a lot of fun. And I'm glad I got Zoom to work for the moment. So okay. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to shoot for about 4:00 tomorrow as well. And I'm going to do the podcast and wish me luck. I don't know. I haven't done it live before. So hey, if it stinks, whatever, man, we'll have fun anyway. So, all right, you guys, I'll see everybody next week. And for the founding members, I'll have your videos. I'm working on them this evening. So everybody,
thank you, Lee.
Stay in the house, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Okay. All right. Where's the,
Bye.
okay. Bye-bye.